until we see more certainty return to like, yeah, these DATs and whatnot, people just aren't really wanting to buy crypto right now, I think, because it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. And while Bitcoin does look fine, I think like just the fact that gold's ripping and that we saw equity all-time highs just means like, and Bitcoin is kind of just chopping is like, I don't know, it's not always a good sign. I know it normally lags a little bit, but like you'd want to see Bitcoin go up here regardless of alts, in my opinion.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Hivemind podcast. My name is Ceteris. Jose is not on, so I'm doing the intro today. We've got a bit of a different lineup today. We've got myself. I'm head of research at Delphi. We've got Jason, who's head of markets. We've got Jan, who is ventures partner. Ventures partner.
Should we start over again?
No, just leave it. It's fine.
Nice.
And we got LTR, who actually has a new stream that's been on Twitter that you've probably seen. Hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't, go check it out. And he's on the markets team. He's also just kind of like everywhere within the Delphi research squad. Yeah, I think there's actually a lot that's kind of been happening over the past couple of weeks. I think first and foremost, we just want to talk about, I think Jackson Hole actually was like after our last podcast, and a lot has kind of happened since then. There was what was seen as like a really dovish Jackson Hole, and then prices pumped, and then they've kind of like dumped over the last couple of days. Seems like Solana has regained a bit on like the BTC and like ETH ratios. There's definitely been a bit of a Solana rotation, but yeah, I don't know. The markets don't look like amazing right now. I think they look like fine, but it is like a lot of chop with kind of like pump coming back over the past week. So how are people kind of feeling about this right now? Jason, I think you wrote something the other day about like kind of like two paths on the portal.
I guess, yeah, I'll just start with like my overall thought on Bitcoin. Like, I just think pretty much from like mid-August, pretty much from like August through like August and September, I've just like generally been cautious about it for a few reasons. One, like seasonality generally at this time is not been historically great for Bitcoin and crypto markets. It's usually a period of like, you know, chop, sometimes pullbacks in September towards like the tail end of Q3. So you have that seasonality aspect of things that I'm just always, you know, cautious about. Number two, like when I look at like the Jackson Hole thing, as well as like, you know, everybody looking at rate cuts in September, I kind of look at it as like almost priced in at this point. Like we've had at like a year at this point of people just expecting rate cuts at every meeting and then kind of coalescing around the expectation of, okay, we're not getting it until September after Jackson Hole. And then you kind of saw over the last couple of weeks, like some mixed economic data come in, and then you had like the CME FedWatch tool, which kind of tracks like the market probabilities for future Fed funds rate, so like rate cuts, kind of oscillate, right? So like prior to that, you had like pretty much 99% probability of a rate cut in September, and then we got some mixed data prints after that, and then you saw rate cut probabilities drop like 15, 20, 30% from that, you know, almost guaranteed level to, you know, 70, 80%, which is still like very much like guaranteed, but market obviously kind of reacted to that. And then kind of since Jackson Hole, we've started to climb back up, and I was looking at it the other day, but I just pulled it up, and yeah, like the market probabilities for the September 17th Fed meeting is 97.6% expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. So like when I look at that, I'm like, okay, like most of like that, I guess, expectation or I guess speculative nature around like rate cuts is probably priced in. So I'm like looking at that as probably not really much of like a short-term thing, right? I think like generally speaking, 3-6 months after a rate cut, I was looking at a study the other day actually, where somebody looked at each of the scenarios in which we've had like a pause for at least 6 months before, like, or I guess since the like most recent rate cut until the next rate cut, and like what the market looks like. And generally speaking, like obviously the sample size for Bitcoin is small, but when you look at it for the S&P, the majority of the time it's up 3 months later, 6 months later, in that kind of scenario. And I think like it has like a sample size of 8 going back to the mid 90s, and then I guess 10 or 12 sample size when you go back even further to the 70s. But when you look at like from the 90s,
the sample is what, 6 months in between rate cuts, you said?
So yeah, so like the scenario is like when the Fed has been like on pause for 6+ months, like how does the market perform after they cut after that pause? Looking forward for like a 3-month period or a 6-month period, and the majority of the time it's up 3 months after and 6 months after. So like when I look at it like that, like on the short term time frame, like I don't really think this rate cut's gonna do too much, because I think, like I said, it's mostly priced in. But on the longer term time frames, I think it's probably, you know, generally bullish through year end and into Q1. That said, one thing that we wrote about on the markets team, it was Marcus actually wrote about like the TGA refill. So the Treasury General account, TGA, has been depleted for the most part, and it needs to refill, right? So what that means is it effectively just like drains liquidity from other parts of the market, refills the TGA so they can spend out of that account. Like very simple explanation of it. And that generally, it's underway now, and I think there's about like $250 billion left worth of TGA refill capacity that they need to do. And we're seeing good absorption of that. We're seeing demand for treasuries and things like that. So there isn't too much of a liquidity shock there. But when I was looking at this like a week or two ago, it's just another thing that's like, okay, August, September, I'm not going to like take too much risk on, general market direction. And I'm generally going to wait for the seasonality, the rate cut thing, and the TGA refill and liquidity drain from that to kind of, run its course, and then probably get more bullish into, end of Q3 into Q4 and year end. And I think that's generally kind of like playing out. Like you're seeing that like with Bitcoin, like it's just very choppy, very sideways. I mean, I think to your point, Cedars, it looks fine. And then obviously there's some technical things that I've like tweeted out about like short-term momentum, like all of it's just kind of tapped out to an extent. You have the DAT buyers, the big one with Sailor kind of, being tapped out of buying capacity, with MNAV being kind of depressed. So I just think this period is like a time to like not take excessive risk and just kind of like wait till you get like pullbacks into like decently good areas. Like I think Bitcoin's probably at like a decent area. I could probably drop another.
I mean, on the MNAVs, like all of them are under 1 except for Sailor, who still has like a 135 to 155, considering how you measure it. But like if you look at the ETH ones and the Solana ones that are outstanding, they're all like under, I think as of this morning, they were like 9591, but they're also kind of dumping pretty hard right now. They're both down like 10% today. So their MNAV is probably like sub 0.9 now. What's like how do you think about this? Like, I know there's no forced unwind, but
yeah, that's the important thing, right? So I don't think there's I'm not super familiar with every single, DAT and what their financing structures look like. But generally speaking, there isn't like a forced unwind or anything like that, right? So I think, the way I think about it is like the selling pressure comes from like the expectation that these vehicles are tapped out. So then people kind of like, okay, well, like if people were buying to front run DATs for, Sol or ETH or Bitcoin, and now the capacity for these DATs to issue shares or sell shares to buy the underlying no longer exists, the market might front run to the the opposite direction and kind of sell, because the big buyers at least over the last couple months are no longer buying. Like that's my main view of it, and it kind of like aligns with just like the seasonality, the liquidity. Like it's all like a bunch of shit going on at the same time, where it's like, I'm not really in love with taking risk in any of these assets at this moment. Like I have, core positions that I'm not selling, that I have from lower, that I'll continue to build on dips. But like, yeah, I think it's more of and I'm curious, like maybe what Jan or LTR thinks, but I think it's more of like an expectation around like their capacity to buy. And if there is no expectation that they can buy, or they don't have that capacity, you probably go through this little bit of chop and pull back?
I think there's a lot of uncertainty, just like in general, equities, Bitcoin, crypto. And I think we've seen that with just like how much gold is exploding. Cause it's like, I think in general, when people don't know what to do, they kind of just buy gold. And like, that's just kind of like, okay, well, at least I won't get, hammered in gold really. Like I can just kind of chill there. And I think like until we see more certainty return to like, yeah, these DATs and whatnot, people just aren't really wanting to buy crypto right now. I think because it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. And while Bitcoin does look fine, I think like just the fact that gold's ripping and that we saw equity all-time highs just means like, and Bitcoin's kind of just chopping is like, I don't know, it's not always a good sign. I know it normally lags a little bit, but like you'd want to see Bitcoin go up here regardless of alts, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, on that stuff, no forced unwind, but to some degree, there is an element of whoever acts first is going to benefit the most, right?
Who sells first sells best, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're doing the sell underlying and buy MNAV below one trade,
buy your
right?
share, yeah, the ARB, right? Because that is like the trade, right? For that, like, yeah,
so they sell shares above MNAV of one and buy shares below. And how do they buy it? They sell the underlying. I don't know how many will do that. I don't think it really like it's that attractive to do it here. If they have a further collapse, then maybe. But I mean, I guess the one bullish surprise catalyst that you don't see, it's talked about a little bit, but not too much, is basically MicroStrategy or strategy now qualifies for the S&P, but the decision is by committee, and that won't happen. That actually happens tomorrow. We're recording Thursday, so the decision's made Friday. I think markets, both in terms of Bitcoin price and just, I think there's a poly market for it, but I don't know how much volume it's trading. There's like the market's assigning a pretty low probability to it, rightfully so. It's there's plenty of names that haven't really gotten in despite qualifying. So just ticking all the boxes generally isn't enough. So there's a world where I think the more likely path is it happens in December. And certainly that would be a massive catalyst just based on the amount of rebalancing that index funds and ETFs will have to do to add MicroStrategy to their holdings. You got to assume it's probably in the like 11-figure range.
Yeah, that would be crazy bullish, because then you just have also in perpetuity, essentially Saylor just gets to like sell new issuance to retirees passively.
Yeah, there's a really cool chart. We can share in the notes. I forgot. It's some guy posted it. So basically, somebody did an analysis of how much dry powder goes into stocks from 401k purchases on a daily basis. And I think Nvidia's 95 or 100 million bucks a day of bid from 401ks. Obviously, they're the biggest, but just an indication of kind of the sheer size.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
And so you think that probably is like a year-end type thing as opposed to tomorrow?
At best. Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty nuts if it happens tomorrow, but I think
MicroStrategy is trading right now. It ain't looking like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm literally pulling up the chart while you were talking. I'm like, oof.
Yeah, dude, it's horrible right now. People were saying like the insiders know, dude. It's like might age poorly.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely selling shares too, right? Just based on, I think they bought back like 400, 500 million last week or so. And so, that wasn't through prefs. That was from kind of going back on those rules. So it's definitely appearing in the chart. But yeah, broadly, it seems like everyone's kind of coalescing around a handful of names, which makes sense, right? It's actually probably healthier because it creates a better risk-adjusted opportunity to make profit if it's just concentration around quality, and it's kind of just been the revenue meta, which is just an indication of kind of evolution of the space and to some degree the degree of froth we're seeing, right? It's not a very frothy market where everyone just kind of is not really taking flyers, but rather taking lower upside, safer bets.
Again, it's like we still haven't really changed the theme at all. You kind of just get like a select few assets every once in a while that do well, then everything else is kind of just like shitting the bed. And there's like a good week there of Solana, and then Pump has kind of been the main outperformer now.
I think it's worth mentioning the Pokemon card stuff though, like this TCG stuff.
Yeah. Have you used it?
I'm not a card guy, unfortunately. Well, I guess kind of fortunately, honestly. I don't really want to be, but so like I just didn't use it because honestly, not because I didn't think it was good, just because I don't do Pokemon cards. I'm not really into them. But the collector crypt like gotcha thing was really big. I know Thread Guy had the guy on yesterday, and the more interesting part about that is like the EV is positive for like the gotcha, so it's like it rewards players more. So like you're seeing a lot of guys like win in a sense. And
Can you explain that a little bit more? I'm not sure everybody's going to be super familiar with how that works.
So it's just like, casino house always wins, like, so if you're playing some sort of gotcha or some sort of quote unquote random game, like on average, you're going to lose. And that's like how they make their money. So like with this gotcha, I don't know all the economics of like how they then turn a profit, but essentially like on average, you're going to win more. And I think like probably they're doing this just for like a 0-to-1 strategy for collector crypt, for collector cards. This is the platform I'm talking about, cards. Like it's purely on the gotcha, so I don't think it's on like the normal pack openings or whatever. But like in like the fun gambling vending machine gotcha thing, you're going to win more often. And I think that's like been a really good driver of like their 0-to-1 on Twitter is like people are actually winning. They're posting about it, flywheel, more people join, et cetera, et cetera. The issue with these TCGs that's popping up is there's no grails on them, quote unquote grails. And what I mean by that are like the Charizards that are worth, $50,000, $100,000. Like no one's pulling insane stuff. Like the biggest thing I saw was like, oh, someone opened a $20 pack and got a $300 card, which is like cool. But in like crypto, that's like, okay, cool, dude. You made, $280. Let's go, bro. Like that's just like not a big a crypto mindset thing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like it's kind of funny that we've gone down the risk curve so much. We're literally at pure gambling right now. Like we are just like gambling on Pokemon cards. Like we're not even buying meme coins. We're just like, at this point, we're like, crypto doesn't even matter anymore. Let's just open Pokemon packs while we're bored. So I think it's kind of like a state of the market type of thing.
Yeah, I think it was good that Solana got that. If you think about like there's basically two general purpose chains now that people use, and it's Solana and Base. Like Base has done a pretty good job of getting a lot of these kind of like social things. They've had like Zora, they had this football thing. Obviously, they had Friendtech like a few years ago. But that was still like a good shot on goal. And so there's really like it's basically Solana versus Base for a lot of these kind of things. And I think Solana got kind of humbled with like Hyperliquid and then the ETH DATs and then Base getting some of these things over the past like few months. So I think it was good for them to like get one of these organic things come up again. And yeah, and then of course with like the whole like creator coin streaming stuff, like how do you guys feel about like the pump fund creator coins in streaming? Like do you think those are going to have legs? Or
I think it's just hard because
as a streamer, LTR now that you're a streamer, what do you think about it?
Because like the meme coins on Solana haven't, with this whole pump rally, it's like it's ultimately been pump. Like people are just buying pump. They're not buying even like Fartcoin and other pump coins and other meme coins. It's just all going into pump, right?
Yeah, I think the issue with the streamer coins right now is just like there's not really a reason to own them. And what I mean by that is because the attention doesn't translate into bids. Like Gainsey was blowing up on Twitter and like his stream coin was just flat at like 5 mil, like the entire time. Like he was just like having all these clips blow up on Twitter about his blow up, about this and about that. And people just watched his stream and watched the clips. They didn't really buy the streamer token. It's like until there's some sort of mechanism that's like very clear on, oh, Gainsey is blowing up on stream, we can buy this token to then profit off of that. I just don't see like how that goes about. And also like I think it's worth mentioning, and I know this brought up a lot, but like Twitch and Kick don't turn a profit as solo businesses. Like Twitch is subsidized by Amazon, Kick is subsidized by Stake. Like they're kind of marketing heads for other products, and they work very well at that. Like Twitch earns a lot from affiliate deals on Amazon, like through their, whatever. But like, and then Kick obviously earns a lot for Stake and whatnot. But so it'll be interesting to see how Pump Fund like tries to turn this into a more profitable business model. I do think the pump swap stuff is cool because streamers don't have to sell any tokens to earn money. They can just basically earn fees by locking their pump fund, but their tokens, their allocation into like a pump swap LP pool, and earn fees in perpetuity. But that like all requires volume, right? And so like that's kind of the issue, I think.
I think the parallel is I mean, I agree that those businesses don't turn a profit, but I think that the business models here are pretty different in terms of what's driving the revenue. It's kind of like tapping into a more degen-y gambling type universe. I think that the concern you mentioned where it's not tied is a big one, right? Particularly because you need some runners to open up the ceiling, the kind of the universe of value here, and if you can have one or two that run for some reason, then it really fuels the kind of the loops in terms of the speculation in all the underlying ones. So like what they're doing basically right now is trying to find a lot of these organic streamers, right? So you either go top to the Kai Cenats or something like that, and you pay them exorbitant amounts of money, or you try and go long tail. And so they're like sending out streaming kits to a lot of these, up and coming or people that want to stream. They can reach out and get those. I think that's pretty interesting. And then the stories of what they make is decently compelling. Where there was a guy who posted a thread about how he's a successful streamer. I forget if it was on Twitch or Kick, but basically he tried to start from zero and just couldn't do it. He tried, it's like really, really difficult to get any form of following. And so, right? Yeah. And so, that's pretty bearish for long tail streamers on those platforms. Whereas you have, people that'll come on here and they'll make $300 on the worst end, and some guys are making four figures in a matter of hours. And so I agree, it needs some more tie-in to be sustainable, but there's just this long tail of people. And then there's a world where it kind of evolves into what happened on in Black Mirror, right? Where it's like, pay me to pull out my fingernails and whatever else is in between. And so there's that world too. I think that'll probably get blocked by. I
feel like we already had a bit of that world.
Yeah, we did when they first introduced streaming. They had to take it down. Like,
it's funny because when they first first did streaming, everybody was like, "Oh, this is not going to go well," and then it did not go well. But
really bad.
But like what the streaming is now, I think makes a lot of sense. And to be completely honest with you, like I've never wanted to like myself launch a token. I've always stayed away from stuff like this. I've never launched a token. I'm not going to do it, but like there is a part of me that is kind of enticed by pump streaming. There is there is a small part of me that's like, the main issue I have is just like what happens when I stop streaming. It's just like, well, my token goes to zero. And that's like, I don't like the eventual kind of like rug in that sense. But I do think you can just lock your token up or like the creator fees. If you're a small account or a small streamer, you're trying to like make it is pretty enticing, like especially as more people do it. The more people that do it, the more kind of like de-risked it'll be from like a social perception. Like, man, if you think back like 3 years ago, what people used to think was like unethical to like
Bro,
now.
if you launched a token like 2 cycles ago, you were like excommunicated from crypto Twitter forever.
I saw a hilarious post.
Even a ref link was like,
ref links were super frowned upon, and now you guys. I mean,
they're still kind of
relative to what other people are doing these days, it's like saintly behavior almost.
He was like quote tweeted the Mitch launch. He's like, because Mitch had launched like 26 tokens on Pump Fund. He's like, I would have gotten crucified back in 2016 if I had launched like 26 tokens. It was just funny because we have like definitely like everything is becoming more and more normal. But yeah, I agree with Cedrus's points. Like there is like that element of on Twitch and Kick, like you pay your subscription, right? And that's like time bound for a month, 3 months or whatever. So there's like an element of, if the streamer stops streaming, like I'm almost protected in a sense because like I've already paid 3 months or whatever. Whereas like if your streamer stops streaming or if Gainsey sells 99% of his tokens,
but
the difference is you don't have to pay to watch, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So there's that element, and then it's the fact that it would be really bad. It's the whole you don't have to sell as a streamer, right? It just like nothing spoils the meta faster than a few streamers pumping this thing up and then just dumping and then leaving, right? And then everyone just leaves. And here, if you have this, not a forced lockup, but an enforced lockup and monetization through activity, then there is no like equity like exit rug that they can perform that just ruins everything. It's my fees go down because I stopped streaming. And yes, the speculative people are going to lose, but ultimately they were never sold this vision of like that this is going to go on forever. And that I think it's just like the lack of exit equity rug is the big one.
I think the way you need to look at it if you're buying these streamer tokens is like, a lot of people donate to streamers and stuff on Twitch and all these other platforms, and or like they buy the membership, and that's literally money that you don't get back ever again, right? Whereas with the token, theoretically, you could get some money back, or you could even make money, right? Obviously, most people buying these, like, listen, I bought some of these streamer tokens. Like, am I doing it because I want to donate to them? No, it's because like I think they might go up a lot, right? But it's kind of like, it just changes the model from I think it's the expectations that's the hard thing. It's the expectations that people, if they looked at it like, oh, I would have just been paying for a membership anyways, and this money would have been gone anyways, and now I just get upside, then that's good. If they're looking at it like this is like a fundamental investment, and like now I'm going to be pissed at, like so many people are pissed at Gainsey, and like I get it because he full stacked like his whole I literally had the chart up on my screen because I was looking at it. Because I mean, I do own Gainsey. Like he literally dumped on me, and I was like, wait. I was like trying to check. I was like, where's the decimal? I didn't know if it pumped or dumped. Right?
I just gotta zoom out.
Because I was like, not to his credit, but there is like a sell 100% button on the
why,
which is horrible. Like, I'm sorry, it's so bad. Like, if you're the dev, there's literally a giant red button that's like sell 100%. You just click it and it automatically does it.
There's
like,
no confirmation.
No, there's not. So like there is a realm.
Thanks for the 20 minutes.
Yeah, literally full stacked because like he accidentally like clicked it and people didn't realize that the app has that. And so like if you're the dev of these streamer coins, there needs to be like, are you sure you want to full stack your entire thing? But no, I think the funnier part was like the wallet that somehow bought like $40 at like the Pico bottom and sold like 400K profit, and then we were like, okay, who is that now?
I didn't realize it pumped 100. I guess it like went to zero.
Well, it went to like 12K market cap.
The chart it literally has negative. It has a negative number. I don't know how that. The chart that I posted in the chat has it literally goes.
Out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I literally paid to get out of that.
Oh, that's so good.
But no, because I saw it went from like it was like 005 and it went to like 001. I was like, wait, is that 01 or 00? Like I wasn't sure if it had like totally pumped or dumped. And then I go and look at the chart and I'm like, oh wow, Gainsey definitely. There's only one way this could happen is that Gainsey sold everything.
80% of the supply.
And then I go to Twitter and it's just like, yeah.
This one's going to cost me, isn't it?
I probably won't buy any of these things, to be honest. But I mean, as it stands today, that can obviously change based on stuff. I just look at them like I think Ceteris's framing of it makes the most sense, at least from like a buyer's perspective. It's like, what do you expect it like what are the like kind of like expectations going in, right? Like, would this have been a donation to like in like on another platform? Like, would it have been a donation? You don't get any money back. It's just paid money. So like if you kind of take that same expectation for these tokens, like you're probably not going to be too upset. And it also probably helps you size it better based on, that expectation. But I just like view these things more.
It's like two orders of magnitude different, though, what you donate to the stream and what you put in
that's
coin.
the thing. It's like I would never donate Gainsey money.
Or like thousands of dollars either.
I think the fundamental issue is just like you need a reason to own these. And like,
because it's just
I think what they can do is
that's all.
There's a world. So the same way they had that fund where they tied, to the top 5 coins, they probably need to allocate a portion of revenue to buy back the highest viewed streams So it's not on a market
Yeah.
cap basis, on a stream basis, and then just ensure that it can't be botted.
That's another
That
thing
would
is
make sense.
people are
That's a
asking me like, how can I automatically see all the streamer coins? I'm like, you can't, because there's nothing in the metadata or the API that differentiates like a streamer coin from a normal coin. Like if you're the dev of any pump fund coin right now, you can go and stream on it, which is cool, right? Because like Mike Dudas did that. Like he made this M Dudas coin like 3-4 months ago, and then he finally like streamed on it, and that was cool. But like there needs to be some form of like in the pump fund website API or whatever, where you can pull like these are the top 10 streamer coins right now by market cap or by viewers. And like I feel like that's a pretty low hanging fruit that they can do and integrate, and I think that would be pretty good. But I agree with you, like they need some sort of like, yeah, if you're a top 10 streamer, or maybe it's like I don't know, like quality hours streamed, or there's a lot of cool things they can do.
What do you guys think about like, so it's kind of similar to like the time.fun thing, right? Like where you can like buy minutes, like that, like to me seemed like I wouldn't buy those either, preface. But at least there's like something attached to the minutes or the token or whatever, right? Like for like Ansem, for example, right? I think he's like got one of like the higher priced minutes or whatever they're called. And at least like you kind of like get something out of that, right? Like you can ask him a question, maybe send him a CA that he likes and he talks about it, and then that go like, right? Like there's actually something you can like get out of that versus like these tokens. Whereas like right now there's no mechanism in place that like Jan was kind of describing. So like what do you guys think about like those versus like
that's actually the one that I've been closest to doing, and I have the Time Fund guys DM me a few times to get me to do it, because you feel the thing. This is the thing.
Like
it's
you get
like,
a refund,
I want,
right? If they don't respond, like you get your money back, right?
Yeah, it's like I want to like participate more in some of these like experiments and not be like totally hands off. I just I didn't do friend tech because like I didn't want to launch a friend tech token and like all this stuff, right? And so I do think Time Fun has probably the best model. At the end of the day, though, you still have like a token with your name that has like a market cap.
That's a minute, bro.
But I don't think they're gonna really get pumped up that much, right? Like Tolly's is like, I think Tolly's Time.Fun token is like $1 million market cap. I don't know what Ansem's is, but I don't think they go up too much because you are like using it. It is like a perishable.
Yeah, but
token.
Like at a certain point, isn't that just like WAP or OnlyFans or like I guess just on crypto rails? Like, yeah, there are some cool mechanisms, but I think like there's almost a sort of like mental go around, if you will, that's like this is crypto, but it's like I don't know, it's like we've seen this all before. Like you can do this on many other platforms. And I do like Time.Fun. I think that the devs are sharp, and Ansem's done some cool stuff on that. He posted the other day he made like 100K or stuff so far. And like if he's providing people with like some cool knowledge or whatnot, I think that's like a great thing. Yeah, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a cool model. It also seems like they're doing something with Time.Fun. I've seen everyone just posting these pink images on Twitter.
Oh, that's for Indonesia, I'm pretty sure. Keep the pink squares for the
You get your flight?
Okay. I thought it was a Time.Fun.
Yeah, it's the new color of the
Okay.
No, that's a geopolitical thing, Ceteris.
Okay, my bad.
That's the For You tab.
Dude, yeah. No, it's a good topic though, because like Indonesia is undergoing basically like almost a civil war right now. But basically, the Indonesian leader flew to China, and then people are like, "Oh no," in Indonesia, because they obviously don't want to be a communist country, and so like pink is like the new protest color with a lot of the women there, and they're all wearing pink in the protests, and so like people are posting a pink square to like. Did
Ceteris think this was a crypto thing?
Wow, so I think this is Time.Fun. I literally thought everybody was
like, why is everyone shilling Time.Fun? Who is this person?
Yeah, I'm in a bit too much of a bubble.
It's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. There's it's funny. We've had so many different flavors of these creator type things.
One will eventually catch on. Like it's very clear there's an app. There's at least some kind of appetite for this. I'm just like nothing that's come out has been like a clear no no brainer for me at least. But there's certainly an appetite for this type of thing. Like it's quite clear. Like I think Friendtech like kind of showed the appetite there, and then I think it's just kind of about iterating around some of the value mechanisms that Jan was talking about, and just like making it, I don't know. There's certainly an appetite. Like if you can't see that, I think it's something that I'm keeping an eye out. Like it's one of the, like when somebody kind of figures something out, it's going to run so hard.
Yeah.
So I'm just like kind of biding my time and waiting and not trying to get chopped up with all of the interim iterations.
Yeah, I mean, crypto rails makes sense for this sort of thing. I mean, like the rake that Twitch, that OnlyFans, that like all of these creator platforms take is absurd. It's kind of like MasterCard or Visa fees. Like it's just an absurd take. It's kind of like the App Store, the Apple App Store. So it's like crypto rails definitely makes sense for this sort of thing if you can give more to the creator, but then also earn like a nice fee for yourself without. You can basically undercut everything else. But like I think that 0 to 1 of onboarding the creators is going to be hard, but I agree with like how Pumpkin's doing it. I think like to Jan's point, like going bottom up is much better than trying to like attract Tyson at. Like I remember back in the day, it was big when Ninja, the #1 Fortnite streamer, he got like this huge contract from YouTube to go over to YouTube streaming, and like he lost like all of his viewers, and like because people just like Twitch better than YouTube, they didn't want to watch YouTube streaming, and so like they didn't really care that Ninja moved. They were just like whatever. So like I think having these like pump fund native creators is going to be much better than just like trying to bribe some Twitch streamer to come over to pump fund for sure.
Yeah, ideally it kind of just functions as organic marketing, right? Wait, he made what? And then that just goes viral.
What do you guys think? When's Plasma's TG? Is it this month?
It's got to be soon.
World LibertyFi. I mean, I think, isn't it still trading pre-markets?
Yeah, but it's been trading pre-markets for like a bit now.
Yeah, I mean do you think these? I mean, people were like Plasma and World LibertyFi are going to be like big liquidity drains over the next like month. I think it's World Liberty is not that at this point.
The chart is
liquidity drain on itself.
It still has like a massive market cap, but it doesn't really seem like there's a bid there in liquid markets, which makes sense. People are up so much on that.
I mean, it's doing a decent amount of volume, right? So, I mean, it's tough to say how much that's market makers, but versus just organic bids that would have gone elsewhere.
I think people are just getting Trump fatigue. Like he's got Alt5, he's got the new American Bitcoin company, they've got World LibertyFi, they've got USD1, which is like kind of the World LibertyFi. They got Trump coin, Melania. Like there's just so many things that are liquid now that are like Trump family stuff. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Like if World LibertyFi was like the only thing, I think it would absolutely rip. But like I think we've just been so fatigued with it at this point that it's like Eric Trump is just the boy who cries wolf. And it's just like, oh, I don't want to hear from you ever again, please.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a lot more activity from the kids, right? Like Trump is just Trump coin, and then it's the kids that are running all the other stuff.
Trump has no idea what's going on with any of these things.
I think he does though, because like literally they have like $5 billion in crypto now. Like they've extracted, like there was a number the other day that like a loan from World LibertyFi, like they're up to over like plus 5 billion in the crypto markets alone. And like it's relatively new. So they've just come in, taken like $5 billion of our things and just like woohoo. So I think Trump would notice like a $5 billion net worth increase, but I think
is that $5 billion in FTV times their share?
Thing. That's not like an actual.
Part of it is, but I think a lot of the other stuff is the Bitcoin and then the ETH and then a lot of the reserves and stuff. But still, it is still like absurd.
Oh, yeah. I'm all for grifting in equity markets, right? Because it doesn't cannibalize our bid.
Exactly. Yeah, go do the Alt5 stuff and pump our bags while you're doing it. Like, sure, but like the second you launch this World LibertyFi and people get wrecked, bro, like I don't know.
I think I saw that they didn't end up giving Aave anything.
They did or did not?
Did not. I think they were supposed to give like 2.5% of supply or something.
And they just said no.
Yeah,
it was more than that. I think it was like 7% or something, because it is like an Aave fork, if I'm not mistaken. And so, like, I think they were going to give Aave like a kind of grant thing, and like one of them publicly tweeted about it, and then another like quote tweeted it, or like Stanny or someone from Aave. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think tweeted that it was like they were getting a stake, and then some random dev from World LibertyFi who had like a Ghibli PFP, and people thought it was like a fake account, was like, no, this is false, and his bio said like World LibertyFi team, and then so like everyone was scrambling about that. But no, I don't think they end up got anything.
Damn, it's brutal. I think LTR, you just also posted that tweet about the tempo thing that Matt introduced on Twitter, right? So more of a payments stablecoin type thing. I don't know, it just seems like very clear that like the stablecoin narrative is the at least for me, like I'm just thinking of like how do I want to be like allocated at this point in the cycle?
I think you're seeing more people just want stuff that makes money, right? I know you're probably going to go there. That's where you were going with that. But it's like, yeah, even these stablecoin L1s, it's like, dude, Plasma, it's trading at like $6 billion fully diluted. I mean, are people going to meme it to like 30? Maybe, I don't know. But still, it's like on a fundamental basis, it really has no business being worth that much.
I think a lot of these L1s end up not being a liquid bet though. Like I think Stripe and Robinhood's is pretty much just like back end.
Yeah, like people, yeah, like Stripes. This is the thing. People are always like, "Oh, Cosmos is right," because everyone's launching L1s, right? Cosmos is right about like what companies like want to do. They were never right about like what users want, right? And this has been like the problem in crypto doing like app chain thesis, is that no user wants it. But yes, for like stuff like Stripe, I mean, people probably aren't even going to be using Stripe's blockchain, right? It's just going to be, they're going to be using the Stripe app, and it's just going to be their backend rails that are kind of doing this. I think stuff like that is completely fine. You're seeing, there's all these, I think some of the like dumbest arguments on CT right now are like, which chain is going to be like the institutional chain, right? And you're basically seeing everything happen, right? You're seeing the Plasma, which is kind of like Tether, but you're seeing like Stripe launch their own one, Circle launch their own L1, Robinhood doing the L2 route, Galaxy is like tokenizing their shares on Solana for like certain reasons, right? And so you're kind of just going to see a lot of these different architectures or like decisions come out, and it really just all depends on what exactly this like institution wants to do, right? And so I think this whole, I don't know, I find this whole debate to be kind of like mind numbing, because you're kind of seeing people just do everything at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think like people discount that like companies are going to do what's best for their margins, and like stable coins do represent better margins on the bottom line. Like if you can settle in stable coins and not have to pay all the fees and stuff. So it's like, but that doesn't mean that they're going to drive value to like our coins. It could just mean, hey, they have their own private clearing chain where they do everything on the back end, and they replace their back end with crypto rails. But maybe that doesn't benefit any like liquid tradable assets besides like company equity at that point, which is like fine, because I still think it's adoption. Like it's still going to lead to more second order effects on like other stuff getting bid. But like on the whole, I think like if you're a company and you see that like on-chain rails can provide better margins or better business, like why would you want some Solana degenerate person to start making like Robinhood with a hat coin on your chain, and then like a bunch of degens start trading that on your chain, which like I think Robinhood chain is eventually going to become more permissionless, if I remember what AJ Warner said about the Stylus chain. But like, yeah, I think there's like Paxos, for instance, they have like a private Ethereum L2 chain where they do like their gold clearing for their like real world gold and their on-chain gold. There's like a whole chain that's literally whitelisted for Paxos to be private. So like that's an interesting example of like using on-chain rails for like really real world use cases that are very useful to crypto. Like it's amazing that we can trade, gold on chain with Paxos and it's like legit backed. But that doesn't mean that we need to like be on Paxos chain and like, using all the Paxos chain stuff or trading meme coins on Paxos chain. So like, I think more and more stuff is going to look like that. And I honestly think that's both.
Yeah, like I think that the chains that are going to be successful are the ones that just give like the crypto native use cases and like the crypto native builders. And because all this institutional stuff is not going to be very value creative to any of like the crypto native tokens or chains, right? And so that's kind of what you're trying to win. You're trying to win like the social stuff, the trading, the perps, all of this. And yeah, Paxos will do their accounting on their private chain, and Stripe will do their accounting on their private chain. None of these things drive any value to any crypto token. They just make their business better, and like that's fine. But I really think that if you're betting on like an L1 token or like an L2 or whatever, it's really like how many of like the crypto native products and like builders can you really win. That's what's gonna like really move the needle to me.
Of all these types of institutional chains, LTR, this is something you've kind of been, I would say, front running for a while now. It's something you've been talking about for months. At this point, what are you like most excited for? Like Kraken Inc. chain type stuff? Like what are you like most interested by?
Well, I mean, like I think the hard part is like, yeah, there's not really a liquid bet, right? So it's like I can be the most excited about something but have no liquid proxy.
Well, yeah, maybe from like a liquid bet perspective and just like an in general interest type of perspective.
I think a liquid bet perspective, I think we've kind of already seen it with ETH. Like honestly, like I think ETH is clearing away. Like that's what Securitized mostly uses, and that's BlackRock's chain. BlackRock has taken a big interest in ETH, and I think like EVM is just robust, and there's like a reason Robinhood is using Arbitrum L2, and there's a reason like Mantle and stuff are using Optimism rollups, is that EVM is proven, right? So there's a big risk of like Stripe making their own L1 versus just like forking Ethereum, which is open source and like already like pretty robust, right? And I think we've seen that like a lot of companies don't maybe want to take that risk of building something from the ground up, and God forbid having some sort of irrevocable hack from Lazarus or whatever. So like I think ETH has been like a liquid bet. I think Solana is another liquid bet. I mean, we're seeing a lot of X stocks and tokenization appear there, and I think that's only going to continue. So I think your liquid bets are pretty simple. Like they're just going to be the main two coins we already have and that have already performed thus like. I think as what I'm excited about is, first of all, I think credit is going to come on chain more and more. I think a lot of like credit in banks is pretty bureaucratic and like not robust, but like things like 3Chain where you have your credit score via ZK verify, and then you can borrow against your credit on chain with USDC. There's a couple other things. There's this new thing Smack put across my dash that is a on-chain clearinghouse for credit for like debt, which is really cool because like right now clearinghouses IRL are like really slow. They're all humans. They're controlled by the banks, whereas like really you could just do it with smart contracts pretty easily on chain with ZK again, and that goes kind of to my ZK TLS thing. So like that's another thing. I think credit's going to be really changed by on-chain rails. And then just payments. Like I'm sure we've all experienced going into a local like bodega convenience store and you don't have cash on you and you're buying like one energy drink for $2, but it doesn't take, but the bodega on the little like payment processor card thing, it says we don't accept card under $5. And they do that because of like Visa, MasterCard, and those kind of transactions, and the fees they create are too much to where it's not worth selling the product. So you have to pay cash under $5. Whereas like if you use stablecoins, man, that you pretty much could eliminate that middleman. And like I akin it to, I don't know if you guys remember when that company Square became really popular in like the retail days in like 2016. You basically plugged it into your phone charger outlet, and it was this little square, and you could swipe your credit card and debit card in it. That became really popular. That company, like I forget, they got bought out for a ton of money, but like stuff like that I think is coming to like stablecoins because it fundamentally eliminates the middleman, and it just makes things easier. It makes your bottom line better, it makes your profit margins better. It's like, so I think that's the things we see. And so I was saying to someone today, I was like, I think fundamentally, if you're an investor, the things you want to look for are on-chain rails and fintech solutions that just make bottom lines and margins and friction better. So maybe it's not as exciting, but I think it's going to change a lot for the better.
Do we think Tom Lee goes on Rogan and pumps ETH to 5K?
Is he doing that, or is this just a rumor?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't think there's any confirmation either way yet.
I know that people are going to say I'm like a hater or whatever, but I just like, I don't know how much good I just don't find his explanations compelling, and this is because I'm somebody that like works in this industry 24/7, and maybe what he says is like compelling to outsiders, but it's kind of hard to like, you go past the surface level of what he's saying and look into it, and it's like not I mean, he had this video the other day about how like ETH should 54x again because of 54x last time, and it's like, dude, it's like, come on, man, like,
Hell yeah.
that just like he is bullish, but it's like it's I don't know.
54x, yeah.
Just this PTSD of like Do Kwon and like some Terra guys. Like I think there's a level of like just absolute insanity bull posting that's like, this is like, I don't know, but. So I agree. I don't know if he's like entirely healthy. I think especially to us crypto natives, we're very wary of him. But like, I mean, he's pumped ETH so far. So it's like, if I can sell ETH for more than $4,000, I'm pretty happy. I'm a happy man.
I guess it's just like, how much further can he do it with like his
I mean, right, he needs the DATs to do it, and if DATs can't buy because they can't.
I mean, what's ETH's market cap now? Like 180 billion?
It's like 500.
500? Isn't it like 400 or 500?
Did you say 180?
I don't even know what I said. I don't want to go back.
Don't quote me.
Well, the funny thing is, if the underlying pumps and the DATs don't pump, the MNAV gets even more smoked.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah,
sure. No, I think like ETH is just such a tough spot because the market cap is so high and it's not Bitcoin, and so you're just like there's a level of like, I don't know.
Basically, you believe that there's going to be multiple store values and ETH is one, and like that's it. I find like debating ETH is kind of like a waste of time in this regard.
Yeah, but isn't there like a quote that's like, the moment you're trading silver, you're like the most degenerate person alive? Like there's some quote about trading silver that's hilarious. Like, you've reached peak levels of degeneracy when you're like charting and trading silver instead of gold. So it's like, I don't know.
You mean Litecoin?
When I look at ETH, right, like, I don't know, it's just so like, it's just so tough. It's $500 billion. Like, how much more could I just rather own Sol now at this point?
Yeah, getting the bid is good, right? Like the higher ETH goes, the better for just everything else, because we've kind of been in this Bitcoin sucks all the energy out of the room market for a long time. So regardless,
Bitcoin, bro, it would have so much energy for the market, but nobody buys it anymore.
There was that hyperliquid ETH BTC whale, right? Hasn't he sold like how many billions of Bitcoin has he sold?
Like 5 billion or something, like $3 to $5 billion.
On stream yesterday, because that was like a good example of like more on-chain stuff, because he used hyperunit and hyperliquid, which is like really interesting.
Like, what do you think about that? I mean, it's not like,
I think it's kind of crazy behavior from someone who's been in Bitcoin for that long, held so much of it, and at $500 billion ETH decided to rotate into ETH.
Yeah, I just like, I'm always wary of that kind of stuff, because it's like, I think we've seen time and time again that like these insiders on Hyperliquid just turn out to be the biggest degenerates ever. And then it's like, I feel like we do this like every couple months, which like he could totally be someone huge, or it could be a DAT or something. But like, I don't know how much signal there is in that, like, honestly, unless we like specifically know who it is.
A DAT?
Yeah, at DAT.
No, I know, but like a BTC based, I mean, I don't think any BTC DATs.
No, I meant like an ETH one. Like he's making an ETH one.
Like he's proactively going to make one, and so that's why he's rotating now.
Like it's going to be a part of an ETH treasury, is like what I think a lot of people maybe thought, is that like he sold all his BTC and it's going to be part of some ETH treasury or something. I think was like the prevailing thing, because it was just like billions, which is like incredibly odd. But like you'd think
it's hard though, because people know like how much left you have to bid and everything.
Yeah, it's like and then you think like, well, if he was making a treasury, why wouldn't he just execute it like not on like something like that where it's like very public? It's like if you're doing a treasury and you could sell your BTC much easier probably to Sailor or to whoever, rather than just like nuking it on Hyperliquid.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that were just early and have like way too much money to know what to do with. And maybe this person has no way to actually exit that money anywhere, right? And so I always thought like this is what, North Korea would like steal hundreds of millions and just kind of just start pumping random shit on chain, like you never know. It could just be somebody having fun. Like honestly,
I think the fact that he deposited on native Bitcoin means he owns like some random Bitcoin wallet on his browser probably, or Ledger, sent it to Hyperunit, and then just started nuking all on chain. Like the fact that it's all on chain makes me think, yeah, it's probably just like some random person. Maybe he was, you know, on an ayahuasca bender and he bought when he was like drugged out and whatever, and then held it all this way.
Came back 10 years later with.
Yeah, came back from his like 10 years later.
Turns on CNBC and is like, oh fuck, I gotta rotate this.
Got
into
$10
ETH.
billion.
Exactly. He saw Tom
It's
Lee.
gonna 54x.
Yeah. He saw Tom Lee.
I want $1 trillion. Yeah.
He fell into the shill, bro. He's getting the Ether logo tattooed.
I mean,
right
there's
now.
just a level of price targets that I just don't think are helpful. Like when you're saying that like ETH is going to be like 700K, it's like, dude.
What would the
I
market?
mean,
It's like, how
that's
do
the
you
only way you
like
can
the
get
most-
it to like pump to 8K. If
Yeah.
you say it's going to be 12K, nobody's going to pump it to 8K.
Well, I think once you start like putting some of these, especially ETH, that's like a very distributed, like it's not a cornered asset like XRP, where it's like the market cap and the fully diluted value are like less specific, right? Like ETH is pretty well like distributed, I would say. So like I think the market cap and the FDV here, kind of like Bitcoin, absolutely matter as far as like price target wise. It's like, yeah, it's like then you start, you know, comparing. Like I remember I compared like ETH to like OpenAI, and you're like, would you rather own OpenAI or ETH? And it's like, well, I think that's a pretty easy long on one of those. And it's like, yeah,
I think a really
someone-
good question with these two is like to tell how much of like a monetary premium there is in the asset you're buying is like, would you own 100% of it, right? Because you would 100% own 100% of Apple. You'd be like, great, right? Would you own 100% of Bitcoin? Like, fuck no, right? Nobody would want to own 100% of Bitcoin. And like, you do this for ETH, would you want to own 100% of ETH? Like, no, right? You get to something like Hyperliquid, and it's like, maybe, you know, you're starting to like actually talk about something that is generating like positive cash flow.
Yeah, it's like the difference between like
right?
a currency and an equity, right? Like if you own 100% of a money or a currency, then it's valued to no one except you. Basically, it's worthless. Whereas like if you owned 100% of a business, you're basically just a private company. And then like if you're making profits or if you have some sort of like demand for something you make or provide, then yeah.
See, I don't know. Like, I think if people were like bull posting ETH to 20K, it's like that's like a better pitch to do, because that's basically what Bitcoin's current market cap is.
All right, let's
there.
be real. The foundation's going to sell a massive stack. Before
It already
we get
did, bro. Like, did you not see there's something like 10K?
They're only
ETH
selling-
in
They have more ETH.
10K is like nothing compared to how much
they got more ETH.
I think the
sell,
funny
bro.
thing is someone brought up the amazing point of like, what if they funded their Ethereum Foundation R&D grants with, hear me out,
covered
ETH
calls.
instead of USD? Like, why do we have to sell the ETH to USD and then give it to the R&D for Ethereum?
No, they're just going to sell it anyways. But what they
somebody's
should
gonna
do,
sell it.
what
Yeah,
they
but,
should
like,
do
it
is
means,
covered
like-
calls.
Yeah, covered calls. But like, if you were the Ethereum Foundation, I'd rather
You get licked.
the projects I give.
You don't
the
get
ETH
licked
to
on covered
sell.
calls. You just
I
sell.
mean, you get
just-
blown the fuck out, but then
No,
they have
you
no
don't.
treasury left.
No, you
They,
don't.
like,
No,
yeah, they just
If
they have to
you
give
know,
away all their ETH.
no, man. If you know you're going to sell 10K ETH, you write covered calls for 10K,
Not
and
entirely
then
true.
Yeah, I mean,
you
sell
get the
further
extra
out, for
premium.
sure.
and then if it hits it, you sell it, and if not, you still sell it because you want to sell it after. It's
I
like,
don't even know if like you probably get $10 for a 10K ETH. What would you pay for a 10K?
no, you would write them pretty close to the money because you're going to sell it anyways. So you want a higher premium.
Well, that's what I
Just-
mean. Then like it pumps, and then you have no more treasury, but you got some cash.
No, you
Yeah, if you're-
just
if you're
do the
selling
amount
close
you
to
were
the
going to
market.
sell anyways. You're going to sell
No, I
10K
agree. It
ETH,
is a better way
write
of selling.
options on 10K ETH, and then you just get extra yield for free, basically.
I think the point I was saying is just like, I think it's damaging that the Ethereum Foundation is selling directly. Like if they gave ETH to some research grant dev and then
They sold it for USD. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's like, well, then you can just
obviously
blame the
different.
dev. Whereas like if it's literally Vitalik selling, that's like dev selling. Like, I don't know. That's
Yeah, like, why don't they use like
confidence.
why don't they use some like ETH DeFi and do some cool stuff with that and pay people?
No, I don't agree with borrowing against your ETH, because that's like how eventually they're just going to get blown the fuck up at some point. Like, or you just
Borrow
have a
against
smart
their
contract
ETH.
thing, which is like
Well,
very bad to
ETH
say.
is gonna
But
57x, so they're not gonna.
Yeah, dude. They should borrow against all of their ETH and EF and then just buy more ETH.
yeah,
It's free money.
Use that to buy ETH calls.
Can you imagine how much they'd be up if it 54x? Would Vitalik be the richest man in the world?
Easily.
You gotta think he's worth like $1 billion. So no, actually, no, he wouldn't. He'd be worth like 55 or so.
Okay, so we got to raise our price targets.
Whatever. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
100x ETH.
Sailor's going to be one of them for sure.
50 trillion. Is there a single $50 trillion asset in the world?
No.
No, the biggest is gold, right? It's like 25.
Yeah. I think there's like, there's some like, new.
If you're going to bull post, man, you got to come up with some like better realistic bull post targets.
I agree. There's an art to bull post.
Settle on like 20K. That's a good one. Go with like 16.
Tom should just like study your ad.
Oh man, that guy's still like, you see any tweet about anything and you still just see him like there. You'd be better off just holding SPX.
You got to respect it, man.
It can be about anything. It can literally be about anything.
Right there.
I'm pretty sure he replied to Brian Johnson's angel investment in Stable with that. It's like,
the thing is though, okay, his are so absurd, like SPX, the meme coin flipping the stock market, that it's like everyone knows it's like a farce. So then it's just kind of funny. Like, I don't know. Whereas like I think Tom Lee kind of generally believes, and some people genuinely believe, that like ETH could 54x, and then it's like that's the issue.
I don't know.
Bro,
man, there was this episode. They had the former BlackRock guy who went on, and he got hired by some treasury company, and he's like, for every dollar that's on Ethereum, $2 should go to the price of ETH. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is
hilarious.
Like the most nonsensical. The problem is that these guys get, I mean, dude, Tom Lee stands to make like over $1 billion from this. Of course he's going to try as hard as he can to like pump it up as much as he wants. Like, he has this insane options package. That's like, so do all these spokespeople, right? So will the people, I'm assuming, on a lot of the Solana ones and stuff too, right? So you need to like
try.
I don't know, man. I am not one of these people who is like religious about this stuff. And so I think I try to stay realistic about.
Do you think we can get a resurgence above 1 on the MNAVs on some of these, or do you think they're stuck? I mean, the more of them that come out, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah. What's it like? What happens? Are they going to consolidate? I guess is like.
I don't see how they don't.
Thing.
I don't see how it doesn't consolidate. Like, because there will be a period of time where like there will be at some point, right? Next month, 6 months, a year, like when you go into like a bear market type situation and things just like bleed out for, 6, 12, 24 months, whatever it is. And I don't see how these DATs just exist in perpetuity in an environment like that. It'll probably just be like a consolidation. Like Sailor probably goes and buys out a bunch of the Bitcoin DATs, because Sailor probably survives, probably 1 or 2, 3 ETH DATs survive. Same with Sol or whatever. And you just like get consolidation that way, right? Like I don't think they're going to go anywhere while the market's like still, going up and bullish. But I don't see how we have dozens of these things exist if the market, goes into a bear market, which we will get. Like, there's no question about that. It's just a matter of when.
There's no more cycles.
They should dump all their stock and then burn all the coins and then just like and then leave the face of the earth.
That's how you pump the MNAV. I mean, I know, yeah, it's like Tom Lee can pump the MNAV. Just start fucking full stacking your ETH.
No different than the foundation, man. Like they already basically.
The thing is, what's tough with this is like the whole narrative of it, right? Like once you start doing that, and it could get pretty nasty if then all of them start doing it too. You could get a bit of a cascade.
I mean, the bid disappears.
Well, yeah, right. Because you have to assume a lot of the bid, besides them actually being a bid, has been people bidding because they know they're going to bid. So if they start,
that's another interesting point, though, is like how many people buying besides Master, like these other DAT stocks? Like I feel like they're mostly just crypto people. Like I have,
because these ones don't have the debt, which is kind of like the big unlock for Master.
Like I have literal like Solana trenching chats that were like buying 50K shitters the other day, and now they're buying DATs and like sharing Yahoo Finance links, and I'm like, guys, what are we doing? Like I don't know. Like there's a level of like, are any like normal stock market people buying these?
Hopefully, mom
I
and
don't really
pop when this thing gets added to the.
No, I did a poll
S&P.
I did a poll like a month or so ago, and I think it was like 15% of people had bought them on the public markets, which is pretty high to my opinion.
Wow.
In my opinion, that's when the NMAs were like 1.5 or so. So
I think they onboarded. I think the DATs onboarded more crypto people to brokerage accounts
Than the
brokerage
opposite.
account people to crypto. Like
100%.
honestly,
100%. Vampire attack.
what do you mean? This just like I don't have private keys. This just like keeps everything for me.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
mean, if you're
nice.
that
What a
buyer,
great
you're kinda
technology.
onboarded.
Yeah, do you want to wrap it? We're over an hour now.
Sure.
Sorry, I thought someone signaled. I thought Jan signaled to wrap it.
No.
we were having a good time shitting on the Ethereum Foundation.
Yeah, thanks for joining LTR. That was good, Jason.
That was a lot of fun.
You've been on a few
Appreciate the
times,
company.
so thanks for coming back. And then, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
We'll get the normal crew back with Jose and Duncan back
We'll
for
see.
grass.
We'll see. I don't know what Duncan does half the time, so we'll see.
I don't think Duncan knows what Duncan does besides
He's
show
in a
Galaxy.
cave and he's got like a shrine of
I was going to ask Duncan if he's tokenizing his Galaxy on chain to go long more galaxies.
Did you see there's like 500k
Wait.
liquidity though?
It's pretty
No.
good.
I do.
That's horrible. It's like
Is it-
800
Is
million.
there an order book?
I mean, it's horrible in context. It's like 500Ks. That's kind of what you expect for these things. I think that's like how much all of these stocks
Yeah, but you
gonna
can't
have.
like actually
In
put
wait, in
size-
liquidity or in issuance?
liquidity pool.
Like the amount.
The LP.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're
yeah,
swapping
like
Galaxy.
it's like a decent liquidity pool. For
It's like
I've certainly bought things with less.
yeah, but like you've bought like 1 million market cap things with less. Like, I don't know. Like, how are you going to get?
yeah,
like,
I don't know what the listen. I agree with you. It's like who is realistically buying Galaxy on chain? Like,
I feel like if you have Galaxy, you almost want to just pivot so you can borrow against it if you really wanted to.
like
But
that's
they-
where
I
it's
think-
usly to me.
Yeah, they need to probably.
Is there any
5 to
integration
10x
with that?
that?
Like, can you now take your Galaxy and go to like
I'm sure there will be
MarginFi or
soon.
Camino or something?
There will be
Yeah,
systems
you can. You
involved.
don't need to. I'm pretty sure the way it works is that you need to KYC with Superstate, but then you don't need to but then you can use any protocol because your address is already
Whitelisted on
whitelisted.
Superstate,
I don't know
yeah.
if that's like how it works literally right now, but I
But
think
that's, like,
that is
where
the
they're going?
intention
Okay.
I went
of
over
how it's going to
Superstate
work.
in the securitization report back in May. I may need to revisit that. That's back when they only had fund tokens, and those were like permissionless. So yeah, you would like KYC once on the Superstate thing, and then you could pretty much do whatever you wanted with the tokens.
I mean, there's a lot of cool unlocks with that stuff for sure. That
it's
like
so
the
cool,
3J
honestly.
stuff, like it's
Mhm.
yeah.
Like I know decentralization maxis will be like KYC, but like there's a lot of cool things you can do.
So what? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that term is overused way too much.
Like,
I mean, you're trading like who cares? You're trading fucking Galaxy stock.
They need to increase that liquidity by an order of magnitude, though. Like they just need to balance.
that's what I was
sheet that.
saying. Like you can't put size into it at all. Like you
Yeah.
can't for how
Can
big
you
of a
even?
stock it is.
I just looked at it on
Because they have like a
Third
cold
Eye.
start problem. Like you get a bunch more, and then the narrative starts building.
Are you sure it has 500K liquidity? Because I literally just looked at it.
I just saw a picture today on like Twitter, so don't.
I'm pretty sure it's not even like tradable yet. Anyways, good chat. Gonna wrap it up. But yeah, thanks guys for coming on, and see everybody in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks for having me on.